Hello, this is Joanne Hewins from Love to Create. You can find me at lovetocreate.typepad.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to show you how to make this card. I made this and put it on my blog today, and it's a 3D element of these flowers, and I had several comments and thought, well, I'll just try to recreate it on a post today. So I'm going to put that down and get started. First of all, I am using this paper. This is from Sale-a-Bration. It's from the Sale-a-Bration catalog, and it's on page 11. It's called Favored Flowers. And here in the United States, with a purchase of $50 in product, you can earn this set or this pack of paper for free. And you can see a little bit there how gorgeous it is, but I just happen to have a half of a pack, and I'll show that to you. Straighten up again. And I'm just going to take the backing off of that and kind of do this and show you the pack. So here's the back, and here's the next side there. And here's the back, or a side of this one, this purple. And I'll just do it like that. And here's the other side of that purple. Here's a pretty piece. It's just gorgeous. The colors are so fun. And then here's a piece and the back of that one. So it's been a lot of fun to make cards with this paper. I have a couple that I've already shown on my blog. This one I made with that. It's a sympathy card. I'm working on a sympathy class that I'm doing locally, and this is another one from the sympathy class that we'll be making. And then this one I haven't shared. It's one that I'm going to have in my February class, my regular class that we do. And then these two I made yesterday, this one. And then I tried doing some gold embossing. And I had to, at first I had this top on there, and I'm not a gold, I'm not a metallics kind of person, and still not sure I like that. I like this one better. But those are just a few of the cards that I've made using that paper. Today, I don't know how well you can see that this card has some scoring on it. You can see up here a little closer. It has some scoring on the top or down the side and down this side. So I'm going to show you first how to do that. So I'm using thick basic white, and I'm using the Simply Scored as well. Let me stand up a second and see how well you're seeing that. Let me pull that down a little bit where you can see. So first of all, I'm going to move it again out of the way and take my paper. This is cut 5.5 by 8.5. I've already scored this at 4 1/4. Right through here, and that's going to be the fold for my card. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold that, and I'm going to use my bone folder to smooth that down. Now, when you're folding it, you always want to try to match your corners as well, because your score line might not be perfect. Mine often are not. So there we go. Now, to get ready to score this, we need to make sure we know what the front of the card will be. And this is going to be my front, and I'm going to score it from the back. So to get those lines that are across what will be the bottom of the card, I'm going to put it in here and press it to my corner. And I use the smaller tip for this, and I'm just going to go over to 1 inch, and I'm going to pull down and score 5 times. Watch your thumb, I got that one in the way. And I'm just going over 1 mark. Okay, so there's that. Okay, and then I want to come down this way from the back of that. So I'm going to put it in this way. I'm still going to start at 1 inch, and I'm going to go down here to my score line that I have here. And I'll do it the same way. Just stop at that score line. This is a really simple way to decorate your card without doing a lot of extra stuff to it. So there we go, and here is the score parts done. So let me move that out of the way. Now, the reason I decided to make this card was because of some of the other cards that I had made and some that I was getting ready for class. And when I got ready, or when I had prepared some things for class, I ended up having all of this scrap paper. And that's too pretty to just, throw away. Even the things that are on the edge, that would be a great one to use for another project, and you can just work them around so that they'll go together. So I cut out 3 of these. Well, I've got another one of those here. So what I'm going to do is just cut that piece right there so that it will go through my machine. And I'm going to pull all this scrap paper out of the way. Okay, and I wanted to show you that I had already cut out 2 of these. This one came from a scrap like that. Oops. And this one came from a scrap right in there like that. And let me show you how I cut that out, because these dies, these are the Fragrant Flowers dies, and I use that to cut the paper out. 2 of the dies will cut out this designer paper. So this one would fit just like this. Okay, and I'm going to cut that out in just a minute. So I'm just going to bring in a little piece of tape, and I'm going to put it right in here to kind of hold that die for me. But I also want to show you that this little flower can be cut out with the dies as well. And we'll be cutting out another one to go on the inside. Let me look at okay, I've got a scrap right here, and look, that one will cut out right there to match the rest of our card. So I'm going to cut out these 2 things, and let me place that on there. Okay, and I'm just going to put it on my die cut machine and cut those out. So just give me a couple minutes. Okay, I'm going to move those out of the way, and I'm just going to move this in, and I'll add this. And then I'm going to put this up here, and we'll just cut that out. Now this probably will make everything shake. And I can see that big flower I got off a little bit. But the thing about this is it's really going to be fine. So I have this one. That one I'm going to put on the inside of the card. And you can see it does cut it out with a little bit of a black border. I've cut some by hand, so I didn't have that black border, but for this card, it's fine to have that. And let me take that. I'll put these. Now these dies can be bundled with the Fragrant Flowers stamp set. So that is something that you might want to think about because it goes with this paper, and then you can stamp that beautiful stamp as well. And I did use that on this card right here. So I stamped the stamp there and then on the inside. So let me go back to this. I'll move this out of the way. And I probably will use this one since I got it off a little bit for the other two flowers. So I'm going to bring these back in. And I'm going to use one of these as it is. And then I'm going to cut the others out. So I'm just going to go around here. And then where they overlap, I'm just going to try to cut right on the line. And I really, well, I suppose I probably left that leaf on there. So I'm just going to cut around that leaf a little bit. And then I'll cut this flower out. I'm going to leave that leaf on there for right now. We'll see if we want it or not. And then I'm going to cut the rest of this. Now, do you ever make something and you wonder if you can recreate it or not? I'm a little bit worried that that might happen here. But it came together just fine the first time. We'll try it. So I'll have one that has everything together. And then I'll have one that, I'm going to bring that in. I think I did cut that leaf off, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cut that like that. And then we'll take this one. Yeah, because I did just layer the flowers. I'm going to cut a little bit of that thick black off of that. But I'm not being all that careful about making sure I'm on the line on that, just kind of where the two were there. Okay, so I've got that done. I'm going to pull this other out. And I am going to go ahead and cut this leaf off. Okay, so I'll have these two, and I think I'm going to go ahead and cut that leaf off as well. I think I probably did that. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in some dimensionals. So I'll be using some of the regular dimensionals, and I'm also going to use some of the mini dimensionals just to stick some stuff in. So this will be my base, and I'll attach it to the card. I think I'm going to go ahead and do all the layers first, and then we'll just go ahead. So I'm just going to take these up and just kind of fold them a little bit. They don't crinkle up super easy, but I'm just going to kind of make them fold. And then I'm going to pull it back out, and I'll probably do it one more time and see if I can get it to fold at different spots than the first time. Okay, so I think that one is okay. And I think I'll go ahead and do this other one that's the same color. Pull it back out, work on it some more. Now if it tears, I don't think it will be too bad. I haven't had one tear yet. Okay, so I'm going to pull that out. And I'm just going to put, this is what I did before, and we'll try it. I'm just going to put a dimensional right in the middle of those. And then I'm going to work with one first. And I did kind of match it up to where it was before. So this one will kind of go like that. Okay, but I'm just going to kind of play. I'm going to push it a little bit and play with it. And I'm going to pick up, I'm going to pull that top off of that. Coordination is not my best quality, so just put up with me on that. So let me go ahead and stick that where it should go. Okay, so I've kind of got those matching a little bit, so I'm going to put that down, and that's going to hold it. And I'm going to kind of push that in just a little bit, and I think I'm going to put one right in there to hold. And then let me take the top off of another one, okay, and then I'm going to maybe put another one right in there. So they're not really perfectly together. And I'm trying to push them to make a little bit of more texture in that. So I'm going to put a little one right under in there for that. And then let me take this off. And maybe I'll push it so do it like that. So I don't know, can you see the effect of how that's going to look? And now I'm going to go ahead, I think that one's all right. I'm going to go ahead and work on this other one, and that's going to go like right in there. Now I said in my post, this is not a card that you're going to stick in the mail, in an envelope and stick in the mail. It's not going to work. And we used to have those boxes that you could put cards in, something like that, if you still have it, would be good to use to mail them. I know postage is going up again, but I was hoping that I would just find somebody in person to give this card to. Okay, so I'm just going to I'm kind of lifting a little bit and pushing it, and then sticking dimensional on there. Now that one I didn't have covered as first, but I just moved it over and got it covered. So that one I'm going to pull out a little bit. Get the top off of that. And then I'm just going to do that with it. So that one I think I'm going to stop. Maybe I'll do one more. Let's see where I haven't done much right in there, so I'm just going to stick that under. Okay, so there's that one. I think it's done. And you can see the layers on that. So we'll work on this one. So I'm going to take those and crinkle those up. Just be careful opening them up and then kind of work on it again. Our paper is good and thick, and so it may not crinkle just as easily as we think, but it's good paper, that's why. So I think that one's good. Oops, I did tear that one just a little. So what I'll do is put it as my middle layer. And I don't think it will matter. It's torn right there just a little bit. But we'll hide it. Okay, so I'm going to turn both of those over and put a dimensional kind of in the center, and that's just to anchor it down. Okay, so I'm going to get the one that's torn a little. Well, I can't even tell which one it is now. I guess it's this one right here. So I'll put that next. And it's easier to maybe match that because of this little piece coming out here. So I'm going to kind of match that. It's not exactly. And it does look a little bit smaller because I've crinkled it in there. So let me just I'm going to kind of mash, put that under there, and then just kind of mash that a little bit. So, okay, that didn't work as well to do it first like that, but just play with it. If you're watching this, you're probably like to play with paper. That's one of the reasons you're doing stamping. So, and this just takes a couple minutes, so be patient. And then we'll just kind of and that one I thought stuck up a little bit more than I wanted, so I just pushed it down. Okay. I think that's good enough for that. Let me add another one. See, as you see, you need one. Just put it there. I'm going to add another one. I didn't do anything much over here. So I kind of pushed that in, and there's my torn space. So I'm going to kind of just played with that, and there we go. So there's how that one looks. Maybe not quite as three-dimensional as this one, but we can work on this layer. So I'm just going to stick that in, and then we'll just go around this a little bit, and we'll be about done. So I thought that the scored area looked nice with the flower. Oh, actually this is also torn, but I think we'll be all right. This had a lot of stuff to do to get the flowers ready, so, and I'm just kind of playing with that to cover up that torn part. You know, flowers can have a little torn look to them. But I thought that scored would be a way to add some simplicity to it. And so I'm not sure what I want to do with that. Okay, we'll just do that. Maybe lift that up a little. Let me see if you can see. Okay. I might have had a little more height on the one that I had already done. I'm going to push that one way back. Maybe I finally figured out how to do that. It wasn't so hard. And I'm kind of pushing that one back as well. But I didn't do it right on the edge. So that might be everything. Here's what I should have done to make that easier. Is just pick off the lid, the lid, pick off the top, and then just pick it up. Much better than what I was doing. Now I learn it when I'm about done. So here is the card, or the flowers. Maybe not quite as high as these. But I told you I wasn't sure I could recreate it. So I'm going to turn this over and just cover, put some dimensionals here to hold all of that in place. I'll put one here. And then let me use, well, let me just leave that on my finger for a minute. So I'm going to get all of these tops off, but I don't really want to mash my flowers. So I think I'm going to just pull those off so I don't mash the flowers down. Or I could have put those on first. Might have been a little easier. Okay, so now I can put my flower on. I can decide which direction I want it. I have it in this direction. I kind of like to, I think I'm going to keep it that way. I think before I do that though, I'm going to, well, I was going to stamp the saying, but I have just realized that I didn't bring my stamp pad with me. You know, it's so hard to remember everything, so I'm just going to tell you about it instead of running into the other room. I'm using this It's Your Birthday, and I would have just put it right under the score line, right in there, with my Mossy Meadow. And this stamp is from the Spring Blessings stamp set. This is in the annual, not the annual, it's in the mini catalog, and it's back on page 19. And I haven't used it yet. One of the reasons that I got it is because of these lanterns right here. And it's kind of on my bucket list of going somewhere where they are releasing these lanterns. I want to see that, and that's why I got it. Plus, it makes me think, the two little girls make me think of my granddaughters, Sagan and Hazel. So I haven't used anything in it yet, except for this saying It's Your Birthday. Let me go ahead and add this. Okay, and just pretend it's got that saying. I can still put that on when I go into the other room. And then the small flower that I cut out earlier is going to go on the inside of the card. And I have a saying there. Just going to glue that. And I did not mean to put that much glue. I just didn't think it was going to work. You don't need that much. And inside I had the flower and then another saying. And needless to say, I can't stamp that on without my pad. Sending Happy Thoughts, I believe, is also from Sale-a-Bration. Let me look real quick. Back here. Well, I think it's back here. Sorry about having that all over the place. But yes, sending happy thoughts is part of this stamp set from Sale-a-Bration. This one you have to have a purchase of $100 to get, but it's a beautiful set as well. So I think that is about as far as I can go on this. I'm not going to close this super good because I told you I had too much glue and it ran out a little bit. So I'm going to remove that in just a few minutes. So there we are. That is how I did the 3D flower using the Favored Flowers Sale-a-Bration papers. Thanks so much for joining me for this. I appreciate it. Find my store, my online store. You can find it from lovetocreate.typepad.com. I would appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.